How y'all feeling today, man? It's another glorious day. I guess not too glorious, but I mean, I kind of like this weather. It's better than it being hot all the time here in Texas, be hot as fuck. But besides that, I wanted to make this video today about how I got into cybersecurity. Pretty much kind of like a breakdown of like the different jobs that I had, my career progression, what certifications I had when I started cybersecurity, a little bit about where I went to school at, and how that helped me to get to where I am today. So I've been in IT for like 3.5 years now. Yeah, over 3.5 years. My first IT job was I worked help desk at USA. It was a contract position. I worked for this company called HCL Technologies, if you've heard of it. That was a really good job. It was a little bit after COVID, so it was remote. They wanted to move back into office, but before they could move back into office, the contract had ended. So pretty much just that job. Well, how I got that job was, before that I was working at Walmart. And then I decided, I was like, I'm going to start going to school to get my degree in cybersecurity. So I was like, I read online, like everybody says, you should start in help desk. You should start in help desk. You should, you need to learn your fundamentals first. So I went out online, and I think I applied on Robert Half. Staffing companies are underrated when it comes to putting you in positions, because that's how I got that help desk position. So I applied on Robert Half. I think it was like a week later, I got a call. The recruiter had talked to me about the position, talked to me about my knowledge, about what I knew about being help desk. It was my first IT job, so I really didn't know much. I troubleshot computers at my Walmart store, but other than that, I didn't really have no formal, job title IT experience. So they asked me a couple questions. I did an interview. I did pretty good on the interview. But those help desk and customer support roles, it's more, I guess, customer service based. Yeah, that's the correct word, than anything, because they were already established. So they already had a troubleshooting run books and playbooks. So literally all I had to do was just go in, search up the little knowledge base for what the issue was, and then just follow the steps. So it was more of, they were looking for somebody who was relatable, somebody who can talk to the customers, calm them down when they're angry, who knew how to type fast, create tickets, and really kind of like that. It was a really easy job, honestly. You listen to the customer, reassure them that you're going to resolve their issue, go find the knowledge base. If the knowledge base didn't work, then you would just escalate the ticket. And that was my first help desk job. I worked there for about 7 months. So from like January of 23 to, I think it was July of 23, that's when the contract ended. And so after that contract ended, I was out of work for probably a month. And then I landed my next position. I ended up moving back home because I was living in San Antonio when I had that position. So I ended up moving back home, back to Killeen. And if you know, you know. Once I got back there, I ended up landing a job as a network technician for this company called Syntex Technologies. Another really good company. I enjoyed my work and my time there as well. And pretty much when I landed that role, I had certifications already. Because while I was doing the help desk role with USAA, I believe I had A+. I think I had just A+ and ITIL. Those were my only 2 certifications. I didn't have my bachelor's degree yet. I was still working on that. I think I was actually I was definitely in my second semester of WGU, and I was still working towards my bachelor's degree. So I just had my associates in computer science, and then I had A+ in ITIL. And then I ended up landing that position. So with that role was a fun one, I can't lie. It was very hot, very humid, running cable. Ooh, I don't miss that. I learned how to terminate Cat 5 and Cat 6 cable. We were running cable. We were setting up networks from scratch. I got to get my hands into doing what was it? System backups. I forgot what program they used there, but that was really my first real hands-on with configuring backups and running system backups. And that was also the first time I was able to get my hands on Sentinel-1. That'll come in handy later in the story. But I worked there for about a year. It was fun. I wasn't really paid much, but I wasn't really there for the pay necessarily. It was more of the experience, because I took a pay decrease going from USAA to Syntex, but I needed a job. So, and honestly, it was I enjoyed the people I worked with. They were some of the most fun people. We always played games and just, I don't know, it was a great place to work. The work wasn't too bad. It was still help desk work as well, so password resets, building out Active Directory trees and domains, and going on site, troubleshooting network issues. Got my hands on with switches and routers, even firewalls. I didn't really do much configuring. It was more like implementing like content filtering, web filtering, geo-block policies, and stuff like that. That job, it kind of helped me, because I was able to dig my hands into different pieces of just IT in general. I did the help desk and the customer service work. I also did the network technician and network engineering work. I also got to dip my hand into cybersecurity and play with the different cyber tools that were there. That was also when I got my first test of using Defender. I think it was called Defender at the time. Not Defender. It's called Microsoft Security now. Microsoft always changing the names of it. But that was my first taste of kind of getting into the security aspect of things. And after that, I kind of fell in love with security. And it didn't help that I was still working on my cybersecurity degree and getting my certifications. So while I worked there, I worked at that job from August of 23 to, I think it was July of 24. While I worked at that job, I was able to I got my Network Plus, my Security Plus, I got my CYSA Plus, I got my I didn't get Pen Test Plus. I got Network Plus, Security Plus, CYSA Plus. I think it's ISC Square, SSCP. I got SSCP while I was working there. And I got my Project Plus while I was working there. So I got 5 certifications in about the year I was working there. I was almost done with my degree. I think I was at like 70 or 80% done before I got offered a position to do government contract work on Fort Hood. So I started that job in July. It was July of 24. That job, I can't complain about none of my jobs. That job was fun too. It was actually easier than the network tech job. I didn't do as much, but in that job, I learned how to play and configure with Cisco switches, and I got to really navigate and learn the terminal for different Cisco switches. A lot of the stuff that I learned at my previous network tech job, it easily transferred to this job. So this job starting out, it was an automation tech job. I don't know why they called it automation tech. It was help desk still. I got a crazy pay jump from the network tech to the automation tech job. It was a difference of like $10. So, I was feeling myself. I thought, I was like, we made it, I'm balling, we got some money now. But I did that, and then I ended up getting, phone ran out of storage. But like I was saying, I did that, and I ended up getting, I worked there from, what did I say? July of 2025. No. July of 2024 to June of 2025. Like I was saying, that job was like ridiculously easy. Like if I was retired military or like retired in general, that's like the kind of work that I would want to do, because that was like some of the easiest money I've ever made in my life. wasn't brain numbing at all. The people weren't bad. Definitely my direct coworkers, they were hilarious. They always kept a smile on my face. And then some of the benefits of like working for government or doing contracting with like military is that you get so many days off. Like the amount of days off that we would get was ridiculous. Like it was crazy. We were like always off, like every other Friday. Or either that or it was no soldiers. So like whenever the government employees weren't there, then we weren't there. So a lot of the days that we got off, we followed the military basis schedule. So whatever holidays that they had, those were the same holidays that we followed. So after I worked there till about June of last year. And then what made me switch from that job to my position now, which is cybersecurity analyst, was I got lucky. A recruiter found my LinkedIn. And people bash on LinkedIn, but LinkedIn, if you keep your LinkedIn updated and if you're constantly engaging and following these recruiters, I don't even think I was necessarily constantly engaging, but if you keep your LinkedIn updated and you put your security keywords or things that you've done security wise first, these recruiters will come and reach out to you. I don't know how he found me, but there was a recruiter on LinkedIn that found me about a position for the current company I work for. And first time around, I sent him my resume. We had a phone call. It was more of a senior position. I didn't get the senior role. Then he came back like a couple months later and was like, hey, they're offering a junior position now, and I would love for you to come and interview. So I went in, I did the phone screening first. That went really good. And then I came and I sat down and did the actual interview. And honestly, I was so nervous because like this was what I wanted and what I dreamed of. I guess let me backtrack first. When I was at the previous job, I ended up graduating with my bachelor's in January of 25. So that might have also helped because with that, I ended up finishing the entire WGU bachelor's program. So I came out of that program with like 8 certifications. A+, Network Plus, Security Plus, CYSA, SSCP, Project Plus, Pentest Plus, and ITIL. So yeah, I ended up with 8 certifications. And that probably also helped my chances too of being found on LinkedIn, because every time I would complete a certification, I would post about it and I would put it out there. And so I ended up, back to the story. So I ended up interviewing for the job and I thought I flunked it, but I ended up getting the position. And so there was no senior above me in that position. I was the entire security team. And so I'll get into that in another video about what it was like working security at an MSP, because it's fun. It's definitely fun. It's definitely a lot of work, and it was a crazy learning curve. I got so many stories that I'm gonna get ready to tell you guys from working my first full year in cybersecurity. There's just so many things that I want to tell y'all. But that's kind of like a rundown of like my history of how I got into cybersecurity, pretty much my job history. And then as I put more videos out, you guys will learn more about what I did on a day-to-day basis. But yeah, that was pretty much my job history and and kind of my stepping stones to getting here. Make sure y'all boys like, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next one.